What's up, everybody? It's your boy Wes Grant. You're watching Urban Nerd. This channel where I give my nerd reviews on today's nerd news, but I also give my reviews of movies. And this movie isn't a superhero movie, but it's based off of like a young adult's book. But I've seen all the other ones. Maze Runner. I've seen Maze Runner. I've seen Maze Runner Scorched Earth. And now I've watched Maze Runner The Death Cure. And this movie is a lot better than the second one. The first one was a surprise hit, which I definitely like. This one I think might overall be the best one out of all of them, and it was definitely entertaining. It started off right off the bat with some action. You've got a train going, then all of a sudden you see a truck driving on the side of it, and it starts shooting at the train. Then the train calls for backup. A plane or a ship starts chasing after them, shooting them down. Meanwhile, we've got the main character, played by Dylan O'Brien. The character's name is Thomas, and he's teamed up with a guy named Vince. They jump on the back of the train and start going down to the cargo section where it had the children, the children that are immune. Because in the Maze Runner, the main thing is the Earth is taken over by these sort of like zombies in a way, and this is a cure. And like, as if you don't, they think of this disease as death, because you're not really alive anymore. You're like a zombie. So they started harvesting. They started these mazes so that they can put people in and see who's gonna basically evolve to become immune to certain things. And that's why they had these mazes all around. And the cures, they feel, are gonna be in the kids that survive these mazes. And now they're harvesting them, just trying to take, I'm not exactly sure whether it's the blood or marrow or something like that. But either way, it's something not too good that it's sort of like torturing the people that are immune to disease. So they're going to try and get these kids that have been captured. And then Thomas is actually looking for another main character from the first one, called Mino, played by Ki Hong Lee. And I like the guy in the first one, but at the end of the second one, they were betrayed by Teresa, one of their friends or people that were in the first Maze Runner, and he was captured. So this one, he's trying to desperately find him, but they work together. Somehow they disconnect the one section from the rest of the train while it goes off. They go through all these things. Somehow the other people that were part of the plan able to get the ship and take off with the cargo section and basically lift it up into the sky and fly off with them. He comes to find out that, his boy was in the next section that wasn't lifted up, so it kind of felt like that's some BS. But they were like, all right, we're good for now. The guy, Vince, is like, we got to get the ship because these people are getting closer and closer to finding us. So that's when, Thomas was like, I need to find my boy Mino. And he was like, I'm not going to sacrifice all these kids for one guy. So I already knew, we already know as viewers, this guy's going to go off on his own. He tries to, but he's got his friend Newt. Newt's like, nope, not going to go without you. And Newt, and there was another guy, played by Dexter Darden. It doesn't say his main character's name, but he was part of it. And he was like, I'm going to go with you too. So it's the three of them on a truck driving, and they go into a tunnel, and the tunnel's run over by zombies. And they were making their way through, but then for some reason, the truck, no one's watching. It's like, when a zombie things, you pay attention to everything. No matter what's in your view, if you're the driver in a zombie apocalypse or anything, if you're trying to get away from something, you never take your eyes off the road for anything. Not explosion, not sounds. You drive, mother effer. You drive and get your ass on out of there. Because that's how it's supposed to be done. Because you're the one that's... Sure, they can try and do whatever, shoot at the other thing, but if you mess up, it's all of you guys. And that's what happened. The truck flips over, they start climbing away, and then this movie was filled with what you call ex machinas. Ex machina is when there's a situation that can't be solved, but surprisingly, something randomly happens and saves them. Whether it's some person comes out of nowhere, comes and saves us. There's about to be something about to crash. All of a sudden, something hits that. out of nowhere to save the main characters. That's what Ex Machina is, and this movie was filled with it. Granted, I did like the movie a lot, but Ex Machina, like, I was calling them out at that point. At some point, I was literally like, okay, this is about to happen. This is about to happen. Someone's gonna jump out and save them, because this, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you never felt a threat of danger for them, but at the same time, there was threat and danger for them, because this movie definitely did things I didn't expect. But also they had what you call the Magneto effect, where bullets just don't touch you, because it just doesn't. But they took care of that all the way at the end. But I'm gonna get to that a little bit later. But as of right now, so they get saved once the zombies are coming up. People from the base that they were leaving, they were at before, came, jumped. It was like, hop in the truck, and then they drove. They come out and they see this thing called the Last City. And this last city is pretty much like it's a giant. They built up a giant wall to protect themselves in case the zombie apocalypse. And on the outside of the skirt of the wall is like the poor people. Inside the wall, it's the rich people and the upper society. And they're like, we got to get in there. So they go over to that place, and then they get spotted right off the bat. As soon as they get there, they're spotted by these drones, whatever. Which I'm like, okay, so no one took these chips out. Everyone knows you have these chips. So regardless, so jumping through the whole thing. They devise a plan to get inside. They team up with these other renegades. You come to find out that Gally is still alive. After he got thrown with the spear, he was like, "Yo, I thought you dead," and he was like, "Yo, no, you left me to die. I was still alive." And then, like, when Thomas saw him, he punched him right off the bat. And then Newt was like, "Yo, just calm down." He was hopped up on venom from like a sting, which he was. He was acting kind of crazy, but now he's a good guy and he's working with them. And I definitely like seeing the guy, because I liked him in the first Maze Runner. He was definitely one of those things, and he looks badass. He was like the nerdy kid inside the Chronicles of Narnia when they brought him in the third one, or second or third one. I believe it's his third one, where he was a small, freckled, redhead kid. Yes, this dude, he's a lot bigger, and just like, he was in the Meet the Millers as well. And he tells them he has a way to get him inside. So they go and get them inside. They devise a plan to get inside so that they can go save their man. Meanwhile, Tom wants to speak to Teresa. He goes in. They capture Teresa. They get her to take the chip out. Then they use her to actually get inside the place, and it sort of works for the most part. They get down. They're able to get the other kids that are with the cure or that are immune, get them out and get the antidote somewhat, and they go and they split off because they need to get their boy Mino. So then while they're doing that, that's when the main antagonist Jansen, played by Aidan Gillen, which he played a really good bad guy, because he did some crazy stuff in this movie that you're like, damn, like, why? But regardless, so they go on to go and find their man, and while they're doing this, the guy figures out that, they're dressed up in the suits trying to pretend to be one of his soldiers. And then that's when all craziness ensues. She pulls this lever so they can get away. They're going to shoot them. And she was like, I need them alive. They go through this whole thing. They find their boy Mino. They get locked up in a room, and they're trying to cut their way through. Dude just jumps through they bust out a window and jump like a bunch of stories. And I've seen these Mythbusters, and sometimes, these high falls with the water, you need to land just right, because if not, you are out. You are hurting yourself, breaking a bone or something like that, because if you don't land right, it's messing you up bad. So they do this. Somehow they survive, and while they're doing this, they're coming out of water, and then they've got all these guns locked on them. And I already know that's one of those Ex Machina scenes, and I know I'm spoiling it, whatever, but somehow they get saved, and I'm like, I called it right off the fact before it even happened. So, and then when they're going to make a break for it, that's when all craziness ensues. The girl gets stopped with the bus of the children that they saved, and I'm like, okay, something's not right. She's just standing in front of them. Someone's gonna come save them. I was expecting like a ship, but apparently that isn't what happened. So it wasn't a ship that saved them, but they did get saved, and we already knew that. We knew that was going to happen. So after that, they get it was very suspenseful though. Like the way it was going after the bus got saved and then almost crashed and whatever. That I give them to that. Definitely suspenseful. Then all of a sudden you've got them trying to go back in because Thomas is, he it's just crazy. Like all the people that they teamed up with, somehow the guy does a suicide bomb at the door, opens it up. They start getting like riots to start ensuing the whole inside city, the street, and everything. And then that's what comes to like a battlefield. With three of them. Meanwhile, Newt, you find out in a movie that he's infected and he's gonna turn slowly. He's turning slowly, and then all this going, they're all of a sudden finally getting out there, and then that's when Newt starts changing. He gives a little pendant to Thomas, and then he starts changing, trying to kill him. And then the one thing they did great about this is like, yo, you could see the struggle with Newt. He was trying to fight it. He was trying to fight it so hard. He even tried to kill himself. And then that's when you're like, yo, it's just real. And then that's when you hear Teresa's voice like, yo, your blood, you're the cure. You're the reason why the girl is still alive. She shouldn't be alive. Brenda is alive because you gave her some of your blood. So you're the cure. And then she was like, yo, if you want to save everyone, just come back. It doesn't need to be like this. And he does. And then that's when he meets up with one of the other main antagonists, Ava Page. And he was like, is it true? He's on the gun to her. It's like, yes. Then she goes up to him. Bam! All of a sudden, that shot. And I'm like, oh. I was like, I bet you it's the guy. I bet you it's the guy. So only this guy seems a little crazy. Yep, it's the guy. And then the rest of the story is kind of weird. Like, he's trying to get his blood, so I guess because he's infected too. But I'm like, okay, you would have got the cure, so I don't know why you had to kill her. Because if you told her, like, she would have gave you the antidote right off the bat, because you're her right hand man. So it was weird. And then the way they took him out, when they're in that room, you see those little zombie things. I was calling it. I was like, yo, at some point he's gonna get mauled by this. At some point they're gonna let them out, and that's what happened. But the one thing I didn't see was the shot. I was like, yo, are they gonna be ballsy enough to kill off Thomas too? Like, and then you got Teresa trying to save him, and she was stupid too, because like, if you guys are watching this, spoiler alert, yo, she could have jumped onto that plane too. She just gave up. She was like, no, I'm good, and just dropped. I'm like, why would you do that? So if you guys are still watching this thing, then good on you, because a lot of people don't be watching these reviews all the way through. But yeah, it was overall pretty good. I definitely liked it. The dude wakes up in in his paradise in the ship, whatever. He gets taken off. Everybody's got a happy ending. But I'm like, wait a second. There's still this apocalypse, and nobody has a cure but you. So what's going on with the rest of the world? But apparently, since they're already off on their own little happy, paradise, hey, the rest of humanity don't matter. But that's the way it is in the Maze Runner world. So that's pretty much my review. It was a good movie. If I had to give it a grade, I would give it a B+. It definitely had a lot of ex machinas you could just call, like you could see things just happening before it happened. Or maybe that's just me because I pay attention to detail. And as a story writer and story person myself, I could see how they could do this. They did it. They did catch me off guard with a bunch of different things, which I enjoyed. So that's what you code a movie for, to be surprised sometimes. And it was good. So that's my review for the movie Maze Runner, The Death Cure. And remember, if you want to comment down below, share, like, tell all your friends, have a discussion about this movie. If you want to talk about this movie, remember to subscribe, check out my last movie review, and check out the playlist of all the movie reviews that I do. So remember, I'm Wes Grant. You've been watching Urban Nerd, and you've just been nerdified. Catch you guys on the next movie review.